Thinking of building, buying, or remodeling? We can help with the cash you need at Woodsfield Savings and Loan, 105 West Court Street. We offer prompt, expert service and make every attempt to avoid red tape. We make it easy to obtain a mortgage loan or to receive a construction loan for the house of your dreams. Come to Woodsfield Savings and Loan for help with your future as we prepare for our future, facility and services. A new location, drive-through convenience and checking, but that same personal attention you've always counted on from Woodsfield Savings and Loan. The F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency was established in 1903. They have 3 agents and 3 customer service representatives to give you the kind of service you deserve. Being an independent insurance agency means they represent different companies, allowing them to compare for you. For all of your insurance needs, auto, home, life, bonds, business, or farms, contact F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency at 472-0876.
Just like the Monroe Central Criminals, you can be a winner at Loveday Motors.
Win big with Loveday's large selection of new or used cars, trucks, and vans. Win big with service after the sale. Loveday's in Woodsfield takes pride in their community and in their dedication to serving you.
Be a winner at Loveday Motors.
First and 10 Seminoles as we begin period number 2. Crest gives to Shoemaker. Right up the middle on the quick trap play. He is near the 44-yard line. Pickup of 3 yards. In the first period of play, St. Mary's 0 yards rushing, -1 yard passing for a net of -1 yard from scrimmage. Seminoles with 50 yards. The biggest offensive play of the first period was the opening kickoff return by Kramer. That's Kramer on the carry.
Kramer stopped there by, looked like number 86. I believe that's a Big Taylor.
Joe, your voice has changed.
Yes. A little. Yeah, Brian here, he just came in from the floods.
Brian's, the arc just made it here for Brian, and he's out here, so we've changed a little bit. And now Joe's standing inside this building where there's no wind blowing. 3rd down and 4. Wishbone formation in the backfield. Crest to throw. Quick out for Leisure. He'll step away from the second man. 1st down, Seminoles. Nice effort by Keith Leisure.
44, Jay Gruber was one on the stop, as Keith did a great job there eluding the first would-be tackler, picking up 1st down yardage.
At this point in the game, I don't think you can really appreciate how difficult it is to throw the football unless you've actually tried to throw a wet football.
And catch it with mud on your hands and all of the rest of the stuff. I'm sure they're not cold out there, running. Standing up here is not cold, it's just nippy.
Right. Yeah, so the rain may have stopped entirely as I look up to the light standard at the side. Robinson.
Not much there for Robinson in the middle of that line. Gruber again, number 44, along with number 66, which I don't have on the sheet. Mr. Guess, Brian says.
The roster we have is something that was put out prior to the season, so some numbers have changed.
Changed, yes.
And we didn't brave the elements to go find a program this evening. Slot formation left. Kress down the line on the option. Easily pulled down the backfield.
Number 30, which I be is Metz, Josh Metz. Picked him a loss there as Kress had nowhere to go. The pitchman was out to the left, but just couldn't get the ball away.
The option has worked very well a couple of times earlier in the year, but that was a problem from the go, and Joe gave a lot of ground to try to get away, but now we're back at the 49-yard line, 3rd and some 16 yards to go. Crest to throw. He's going to go down there.
He's got Kramer. First down.
Eric
Flop.
Kramer.
Nice job. And
He was looking deep for Leisure. He was not open. He stepped up away from traffic and hit Eric Kramer.
Eric Kramer doing a nice job. Number 22 and 44, Gruber, and number 22 is Calvin Smith on the stop. And that first down.
And that is good for the first down.
Yeah, Leisure was on this outside part. He had kind of hooked and was rolling long, and of course he drew some attention, leaving Kramer to get the reception in the middle of the field for the first down.
So slot formation to the left. We'll get back to the option. This time it will gain some yardage. Crest will keep inside the 30.
And he's stopped by number 30, Josh Metz. Short pickup of possibly they're going to mark it 3-2 maybe.
We'll call it 2nd and 7. But another nice drive by the Seminoles. After the short St. Mary's punt, a couple of first downs. And we're going to have a flag.
I think we have encroachment.
And the defensive man jumped. The official on this near side, you probably could not see from the camera angle. He looked like he reached for the pocket and had to reach a second time. And it was a little bit of a delayed call, but he was reaching for the flag all along. He just couldn't find it. Maybe once his hand was in that pocket, he wanted to leave it back there and try to keep warm. But that will be 5 big yards for the Seminoles. Make that 2nd down and 2 with the ball at the 24-yard line.
We've got 7 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the half.
We'll get a pro-I formation with wide receivers to each side. This is Robinson as the flanker. He'll go in motion. Crest will go across the middle, and that's incomplete. The ball just thrown behind Robinson as he was running a quick slant pattern, and I believe was there, but Joe just not able to make connection. So that'll bring up 3rd and 2. Just another little new wrinkle there with 2 wide receivers, just something a little bit different, and to give people something to think about over the last couple of weeks of the season.
Gearing up for what hope will be coming here in the very near future.
And here's Shoemaker, this side, the right side,
nice
inside
hole.
the 20. He's to the 12-yard line. That's another first down.
Again, number 44, Gruber, and 13, TJ. Have no idea.
TJ Bowman,
Bowman. Okay.
I believe it is, number 13.
We have real good lights down on the field, but we don't have too good lights back here.
So the ball at the 12-yard line. Option. This is a pitch to Robinson. And we have a flag down. And
it's going to be called back.
It's going to come back.
I believe we have holding.
As the block that really enabled Dustin to get upfield there is going to be back. It is a clipping call. It is a clipping call against Monroe Central. And from here, I would have to say it probably was a good call. And unfortunately, I think that is going to be called on Manoa Geese over there, and like Manoa just not able to get himself turned to make the good clean contact.
Just one of those situations where a little bit of inexperienced play. Manoa doing a nice job, just a little over anxious, and it'll be called back. So we'll have another opportunity. The 1st and 20, 7-10 remaining in this half.
And it may have been Leisure. I really couldn't tell if it was Geese or Leisure over there. So somebody will be mad at me now next week.
We shouldn't blame anybody. Nice pass.
There's a catch for Shoemaker. He's going to be to the 7-yard line. That'll get most of that yardage back. 2nd down and make it 6 as they'll put the ball back at the 8-yard line. How much on that play? That's 15 yards on that play. That will get back most of the yardage.
I guess the way we can pick Shoemaker out is just for the dirtiest uniform on the field. Pitch.
This is Robinson.
He'll cut
He's
it back.
Cut up and be in the end zone. Great effort by Dustin Robinson. 8-yard touchdown run by Robinson. 20-0 Seminoles.
At 6:24 remaining in the half.
As I said a moment ago, that Shoemaker had 2 touchdowns and moved him into a tie with Dustin. Well, now Dustin will now go back up with a team lead in touchdowns. Crest will attempt the extra point, and looks like they're going to move just a step to the right there to get out of the worst spot on the field, but it's still not real good.
A couple high snaps last
This
time.
snap is low. The ball is blocked. Wise decision by Joe not to jump up and get that ball and get hit there. Because as soon as the ball is blocked, the play is over in high school ball. Unlike college ball, it can be picked up and returned. But the kick, and this never got off the ground, was blocked by the center of St. Mary's line. There was 6:24 remaining in half number 1. It's 20-0 Monroe Central.
And I believe it's safe to say that Monroe Central's had it pretty well their own way this first half, as they've been able to put on 3 impressive drives.
Well, field position has been all Monroe Central. They have taken over every possession, at least at the 40-yard line. I think all but one possession in St. Mary's territory, where St. Mary's, with the exception of the last kickoff return, has been back inside their own 20-yard line. But not much going by St. Mary's thus far offensively. And the conditions might hamper their attack a little bit, because I know they would like to be throwing the ball more.
Yeah, it's going to make it difficult to come back.
I think a combination of the poor field conditions, wet football, and strong defensive unit will make it very difficult for them to throw. At least we hope that keeps up that way. This will be Shoemaker again to kick off. Wilson is the deep back in the middle. Kick is high. He'll go over to the right side and be bobbled. And pretty nice return out to the 35-yard line by Smith. Will Weddle among the last Seminoles off the ground. So the Devils at their own 34-yard line will take over 1st and 10. Seminoles playing pretty tight on the corners, kind of daring the quarterback Smith to throw. He will go deep.
He will go for Taylor.
He's going to Taylor, and it will
be
almost caught.
Almost caught. Ball knocked up in the air, and Taylor able to keep his eyes on the ball and almost came down with it.
Number 86, James Taylor, 6'5",
working against Dustin Robinson.
Dustin listed at 5'5". And a fine position, fine play by Robinson, because Taylor did have the ball in his hands, but the contact there by Robinson helped knock the play loose. Excellent coverage. Second and 10. Shotgun formation. Smith, a deep drop.
Good drive.
And he'll try to run, and he'll step away from a couple of tacklers before finally being brought down by Jason Ludwig.
Ludwig, yes. Looks like it'll be just close to the first down, maybe just shy, depending on the spot.
Well, there was no flag thrown in the backfield, but I think it may have been Demmerling coming in there, and if that wasn't holding, I'm not sure what is. Very close to the first down. He'll be about a yard or so shy. Looks like the quarterback Smith was shaken on the play, and he's going to leave the field. And he'll be replaced by number 8, Benjamin Mattingly, a sophomore, 5'11", 147 pounds. And not a real good position for a young sophomore to be in. Already down 20-0. He'll give to his fullback.
And it looks like he's got the first down. As he drives over the 50-yard line.
That's number 30, Metz, the fullback. Well, maybe his first carry of the evening.
You have good eyes, Coach. You do well.
The officials, marking the ball for play and starting that clock very quickly after they move the chains. And Mattingly will drop the throw, the deep drop. He's going deep.
Good position
and
underneath.
Intercepted. That's Robinson with the interception. The ball was intended for number 21, Jason Durth. Robinson right there, stepped in front and made the play. So the first St. Mary's turnover of the evening. Interception by Robinson. The Seminoles will take over once again at their own 30-yard line. 5:03 remaining in the first half. 20-0 Seminoles. See Cole Harrelson, number 84, into the game. Wing right power formation. Just a wing right formation. As we'll give to the second back, Robinson, who drops the ball.
I believe it's picked up
by St. Mary's, number 13, T.J. Bowman. Robinson fighting for that extra yard, then was stripped of the ball.
And no one there but Bowman picking it up. So the Devils are going to have good position here.
The exchange of turnovers, the second Seminole turnover of the evening, something that has not been a problem in a lot of games with a high number of turnovers. Very few times do the Seminoles turn it over twice or more in a game. Less than 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. St. Mary's in their best field position of the evening. And number 9, Smith, back in at quarterback. He wants to throw with 2 receivers out. He'll throw short
and it's knocked away.
Hit hard. Trigg on the contact. The ball intended for number 23, Wilson. But Rob Trigg made the hit incomplete.
Another good defensive job by Trigg. It's 4 minutes, 10 seconds, 20-0.
Shotgun formation again by Smith with a deep drop. A lot of pressure. Eric Kramer.
He's helped out by Brewer.
But Eric Kramer, the first hit coming on almost an uncontested sprint from his defensive end position. And as you say, Brewer also almost untouched from his defensive end. So if Kramer hadn't made the play, Brewer would have been right there for the play. But a large loss back to the 43-yard line. Loss of some 13 yards, 3rd and 23. With the shotgun formation and then the drop after that, that's putting the quarterback way back there, so a sack is going to be big yardage. Smith to throw. He's going deep. He's going for number 85.
Another interception.
Robinson on the interception.
And he's got a block on the
sideline with the blockers. And finally will go out of bounds. The intended receiver is number 85, Derek Staron, the sophomore. But Robinson right there for his second interception within the last couple of moments. Turnovers now even at 2 apiece.
They better throw it away from Mr. Taylor. You know, he's overmanned, I think, with Robinson.
So Robinson's second interception of the evening. 3:14 remaining. He stepped out of bounds at the 47-yard line in Devil territory. Slot formation left. Crest to throw, going deep for Leisure.
Leisure's
He's
open.
there. He's got it to the 10-yard line and out of bounds. Keith Leisure.
About the 6-yard line, he'll be taken out of bounds by number 21, which is Jason Durth.
Jason Durth there.
I can't see the other number.
They're going to mark Leisure out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Pickup of 37 yards. A couple of catches for Keith this evening. So Seminoles in scoring opportunity once again, 3:06 before halftime. Both ends tight, wing formation to the right. Robinson. Couple of tough yards down to the 8-yard line. Second down and goal. Second and goal, as they'll not be able to get a first down. Weddle and Kramer out as they continue to shuttle the plays with the halfbacks. Robinson the wing to the right. Power formation. And the counter to Shoemaker. He's hitting the backfield. Breaks away. He's down to the 1-yard line. Someone had a hold of Luke's foot in the backfield, but it takes more than a shoestring to bring Luke down. He's very near the goal line. Okay. Looks like they'll mark him at near the 2-yard line, maybe just inside the 2. Third down. Just inside 2 minutes remaining in the half. 20-0 Seminoles. Trying to get one more on the board before halftime. The wing formation is to the left this time. And motion back by Kramer this side. They'll give to Robinson on the dive. Touchdown.
And he's in. Touchdown at the 136 mark.
It is Robinson, isn't it? I'm almost certain that was Dustin. It's kind of hard to tell down there on the dive. The Seminoles now, after missing the last extra point, will bring Weddle back on the field for the 2-point conversion. 26-0 to try to get that point back before going in at halftime. Robinson is the wing to the left side. And motion and a whistle and some pointing by St. Mary's players there to the Seminoles offensive line.
Somebody must have moved on that
and
side.
And it will be an illegal procedure call against Monroe Central. That will bring it back to the 8-yard line and will change the play call. So the conversion will now come from the 8-yard line. We'll get the pro formation. Leisure right, Robinson left. Backs in the eye. Motion by Robinson. Crest to throw. He's under pressure, breaks away, and will be knocked out of bounds just shy of the goal line. So the try for points fails. 1:36 remaining, first half. Seminoles 26, St. Mary's nothing.
1:36 in the second. Seminoles 26, Blue Devils nothing.
Well, Dale, with the exception of the couple of turnovers, the Seminole offense in pretty good order once again. You know, one interception, one fumble, but on a night like this, you know, you really probably feel fortunate if you only turn the ball over a couple of times.
Yeah, Crest doing a nice job laying the ball out there the last time to Keith Leisure. You know, it's had 3 good, really nice passes. And for the Devils, you know, they've come up short on their passing. They've got a big guy there, the Taylor, the receiver, but both times that they've thrown to him, well, 3 times, it's been underthrown.
I think only one completion by St. Mary's thus far, and that was for negative yardage. So Crest will now kick off. And we'll try not to allow a long return as we've done a couple times. The kick will hit the ground and come to Wilson at his own 15. He tries to get to the side. He'll be hit and brought down by Kramer.
Kramer, 33.
I will say this, you know, about the field. You know, we played a half of football, and the field is not in any worse shape than it was when the game started. It's holding up very well.
Yeah, it really doesn't look any worse. It looks like it has a nice crown in the middle.
You know, the play has been, you know, the first quarter was down to our left. The second quarter has been to our right, which means the Seminoles have been in great position most of the time. Shotgun formation again for St. Mary's. Clock running now with 1:15 before halftime. Smith will drop and go out here to Taylor, and he'll step away from a couple tacklers, but then be brought down. And
looks like Boer and several. I couldn't see who was the first hit.
But again, no gain on the play. As a matter of fact, a loss of a couple of yards.
We'll let them pass that way all night long, Coach.
So if you've got a couple of completions, both for negative yardage, that's, you don't see a team having negative yardage passing very often. And that's the St. Mary's case here. Smith to drop again to throw. He'll go out here incomplete. The ball intended for Wilson. Kramer was on the coverage. 3rd and 12 with 34 seconds remaining.
Tom Smith, the pass intended for Rob Wilson, called incomplete. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 12 with 34 seconds to go in the second quarter.
So 3rd down. The Seminoles would have their timeouts remaining if they would care to use them after this play in order to force a punt and maybe get another score on the board. Smith will draw to Wilson. He has a little bit of running room, and he'll have the 1st down across the 40-yard line.
Looks like Dimmerling and Shoemaker on the stop. But it is a 1st down.
And that may be St. Mary's' initial 1st down of the evening. The Devils will now call a timeout with 28 seconds remaining. And they'll try to get a couple more plays off and see if they can get down.
I'm sure they'll like score. One score before they go in at the quarter here. You can see the sprinkles there. It's not raining very hard, but still, we've had some rain this evening, and it's not the most ideal conditions.
Yeah, I believe the rain had stopped there earlier. It's raining very lightly again. As you can probably pick up a few sprinkles there. As the band lines up, prepares for their halftime performance, which I believe will probably come from the stands tonight. Prior to that pickup of some 12 to 14 yards by Wilson, St. Mary's was at -5 yards for the half of total offense. So another great job by the Seminole defense. For the 4th week in a row have done a great job. But the true test will come next week. When Frontier comes to town. But we can talk more about that in the second half. 1st and 10 with 28 seconds remaining in the first half. Smith back under center. And we'll have some motion in the backfield. The pass is incomplete, intended for Taylor. Kress, come up, was the nearest defender, but the back on this near side moved just prior to the snap. So that will be a motion penalty against St. Mary's with 22 seconds remaining.
Very sharply thrown football there by quarterback number 9, Smith.
I believe, Coach said, I don't know if that was in conversation this week or if I was on the show last night, that the young man throws the ball very hard and maybe too hard, and he really rifled that one in there. And it has really started to rain now. This is kind of what it looked like on me all the way down, driving down here. So 22 seconds left, 2nd and 10 as the penalty is declined. And they'll give to the second back, number 30, Metz.
We're down to 11 seconds, 10 seconds
Metz, the ball carrier.
remaining in this half.
And that'll take care of the first half of play. It's been all Seminoles again this week. Halftime, Monroe Central 26, St. Mary's nothing.
Most of us don't spend a lot of time thinking about septic service until we really need it. Sparky's Septic Service is there when you need them with liquid waste removal, septic tank cleaning, or portable toilets. Sparky serves Eastern Ohio and the Northern Panhandle. When you need portable toilets for special events, call them at 472-0525. Remember their motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house. Let Swisslands Realty help you find what you need. A beautifully landscaped lawn surrounds this house in Woodsfield. The property is on 2 lots and has a huge 2-stall garage. Inside this 3-bedroom ranch has 2.5 baths, a large living room, kitchen dining area, a storage room, and a utility room. New cool vent windows and new doors, another big plus. Beautifully maintained, this home is ready for you to unlock the door and move in. We take listings on all types of property at Swiss Lands Realty, 472-0614. At West 78 Auto Sales, we'll take anything on trade. Well, almost anything. If you're looking for a used car to fit your budget, West 78 Auto can fix you right up. Stop by and ask Dale about our financing. You buy here, you pay here. And on your way to or from the car lot, why not have a bite to eat at Hometown Restaurant, where home cooking is just like Grandma used to make. The mashed potatoes are real, the gravy doesn't come from a jar, and the homemade soup simmers to perfection. West 78 Auto and Hometown Restaurant in Woodsfield. You already know that Woodsfield Ashland has 100% pure gasoline along with kerosene and diesel fuel. And you know about Kirk's homemade ice cream available in more than 27 flavors. And about their great pizza. Call ahead at 472-1745 to order your pizza to eat before or after the game. But did you know that Ashland's the place for fantastic hamburgers cooked in just 45 seconds? Now that's fast food. And for dessert, top it off with Southern Shaved Ice in lots of flavors. For ice cream, pizza, hamburgers, or Southern Snow, go to the Ashland right now. They're open till 11:30 Monday through Saturday until 10 on Sunday.
Coach, you can see it's still raining as the second half will start here. We got a 26-0 ball game, and it's been pretty much all Monroe Central.
Yeah, pretty much domination on both sides of the ball. Total offense for Monroe Central, 166 yards in the first half, 77 yards passing by Kress. St. Mary's with just 11 yards of total offense. Rushing, Shoemaker with 56 yards and Robinson with 28 in the first half, and Kress 4 of 6 passing for 77 yards. 2 of those catches to Leisure, 1 to Shoemaker, 1 to Kramer. You know, not a lot of yardage in the first half because a couple of drives, you know, had such short distances to go. And I think a key play in the game was the return of the opening kickoff by Eric Kramer. Just kind of set the stage for things.
It certainly did.
But another real good effort by the Seminole defense. A pair of interceptions by Robinson. And, you know, we're ready for the second half. St. Mary's will receive the kickoff in the third quarter. Joe Kress is ready to kick off.
There you can see he's standing pretty much right in the middle of that sloppy mess.
And his kick is on the ground and going to hit and bounce around. Picked up about the 20-yard line. And the ball carrier still on his feet. That may be number 21, Durf possibly.
Durf, I believe.
No, it's Smith, Calvin Smith. Number 22, Calvin Smith.
So they'll take the ball here. Looks like they're going to be on the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Devils.
So down 26-0. The Devils will come out with 3 receivers to this side, to the left, and Coach Denny Vinderlich, you know, going to go up to some new things.
Lost the ball.
The ball is lost. The tailback Wilson will pick it up and make a little bit of yardage to the 40-yard line.
I'm not too sure Smith ever had that ball. Seemed like he lost it on the interchange.
They'll put the ball at the 40-yard line, so that fumble will turn into a 3-yard pickup by Wilson, and the officials are going to stop play. A little equipment repair, I believe, over the side there. Number 23, Wilson, and he'll get a towel from the sideline to dry off. Maybe a little bit of mud in the eye, maybe. But the officials now start the clock.
Can't imagine how that could happen tonight.
On that. The hardest rain of the evening happened during the halftime. Really, as we see.
Yes, it did. It certainly has slowed up.
The rain is just a light rain at the moment.
That man jumps on that far side, number 76.
86. That's Taylor.
Taylor, yes. A little over anxious.
maybe in a little bit of a hurry to get downfield. Maybe the pass was coming to him. He wanted to get a little bit of a head start.
He thought he might need a head start there if he's going to go against Dustin again.
So back to 2nd and 12 with the ball on the 35-yard line. It will be placed at the 35 as soon as the official puts it down as he attempts to keep the ball somewhat dry. And they'll be at the tight formation. The quarterback Smith under center again. They'll pitch to Wilson, their tailback. And very little going out here. First big hit by Kramer. And last couple of weeks we've seen Eric Kramer put some real big hits on, and excellent job at that defensive end position since he has moved in as a full-time starter there. And that was a good form hit right there as he came up and put his nose right in and wrapped the arms and made the play. He had some help, but the work is already done by Kramer. Third down and 12. He just
continues to get better and better, Coach.
And from the shotgun, Smith to throw. And there he is again, Kramer. It is an incomplete pass. And that's Smith a couple of times Eric Kramer has come untouched. And from the blind side, the quarterback Sean Smith, never saw him coming. And a big hit by Kramer. Incomplete pass. His arm was going forward, but 4th and 12. And that's what you need is pressure on a team when you know they want to throw the ball a little bit. And incomplete. Seminoles will take over after the punt by Taylor. He'll stand back at his own 20-yard line. Robinson and Kramer deep. A very high kick,
very high,
short.
Very short.
The ball's going to hit right in the large group of St. Mary's Devils in midfield and be brought down. A 15-yard punt by Taylor, and not a good kick at all, as the ball went practically straight up in the air. So Seminoles will take over. Excellent field position for their first possession of period number 3.
The quarterback Smith still being helped over on the sideline as he kind of walked off lopsided there after that hit from Kramer.
He's taking a couple big hits tonight.
Quick
Shoemaker, see you later. 30, 20,
no
15,
one's going to catch
10,
him.
5, touchdown, Luke Shoemaker. 49 yards, Luke Shoemaker. The quick trap, and as he just broke through there, and I almost spoke too soon. I didn't see the deep safety there, but that was not a problem as Luke turned on the burners and put a little move on. And another touchdown by Shoemaker, and 32-0, 49 yards, 1 play.
Another tremendous job by Luke Shoemaker. Dirth, the lone man to get Luke, had no chance.
And he probably really didn't want much of a chance either with Luke has a head of steam coming at you. Crest the kick. Snap is down, and kick is up, and good. Joe Kress adds the point. 9:29 remaining in the third period. Seminoles 33, St. Mary's Devils nothing. You know, I know Coach talked last night with Lance Thursday night on the show, about these situations with getting people in. And I think tonight you really want to get some work to your first line people who have not had a lot of work, the last few weeks with the 2 games coming up the next couple of weeks against Frontier and Bellsville. You need these guys to be able to play. It'd be nice if they could only play a half of these future games, but I'm sure that's not going to be the case.
That's not going to happen.
So I think, may get a little extra work tonight. Reserve games scheduled for Monday for the younger kids who've got quite a bit of time. So I would look for the first group to play through the end of the third period at least and try to get some work in. And as Coach mentioned, it's really not fair to these older guys who are really getting, cheated out of some time also. So it's a tough call, exactly how much to play some people. But I'm sure that we'll see some of the younger guys interchanging in there a little bit during the game if things continue as they have thus far.
And the young guys are doing such a super job, but you do need your first line team in.
Kress's kick will hit and bounce.
Wilson again.
Wilson to 15. He's got some running room across the 40. He's going to be brought down by Sampson at the 45-yard line. Kress also had a piece of that, but again, an awfully good return by Wilson for the second time tonight. And, one thing that has not went well tonight has been the kickoff coverage team.
Exactly. But Wilson shows good speed when he breaks through. He gets through that first line of defense and shows good speed, good balance.
As we said, Wilson, 1,200 yards rushing last year on the St. Mary's playoff team and 1,000 yards as a sophomore, so he's a very capable running back.
Very impressive. The 45-yard line, we got 9 minutes.
Number 8, Mattingly is in at quarterback. He throws a balloon up over the side to number 14, and it's complete.
And they call it complete.
Over there. Jack Sheaves makes the catch at the Seminole territory at the 44-yard line. The ball looked like it was just thrown up in the air, and it was almost like a big balloon
hung there
up
for
there.
the longest time.
But a diving catch on the St. Mary's sideline by Sheaves, and a first down by the Devils. But we have a new quarterback. He played briefly in the first half. Number 8, Benjamin Mattingly is the starter. Smith was hit very hard on that last possession by Kramer and is not returned. And Mattingly will drop the throw. He's got some pressure. That's Demmerling, and he'll get some help from Boer. And this is a big loss. Chris Demmerling just overpowered his blocker and made the play and get an assist from Boer. And this is a big-time loss. And we're counting 15, 18 yards. 18-yard loss.
As the quarterback just had nowhere to go there. He had a single blocker, but the offense or the defensive pressure really coming down hard. Demmerling again doing a nice job.
Mattingly drops the throw again. He'll go deep again, and the ball's dropped down.
And
intended receiver number 21, Jason Durth. Kress and Ludwig were there, and in making a dive was Weddle. After the ball, once it was tipped up in the air, 3rd and long. Just looking down the sidelines, I see one of our TV stations here this evening. Here, I believe, Channel 7.
Yeah, Channel 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Channel 9 made the trip down or not. They, both.
You just about find them everywhere, though.
Both getting out and doing a lot of coverage there. So maybe they were here in time to get the Shoemaker run, or maybe some of the first half.
Again, good pressure.
A screen pass, complete to Wilson. He'll break a couple of tackles and be brought down by Trigg. The pressure applied to the quarterback by Leisure, but the screen allowing the pressure to come through, they'll pick up still only about 5 yards on the play, 4th down and about 18.
A bunch.
So another punt formation by the Devils. Taylor once again. Good snap. Better kick by Taylor.
Better.
This is Robinson. His first opportunity in a while to return a punt, and not much running room.
Be smothered.
And he'll be down. Very little gain on the return at his own 22-yard line. That's where the Seminoles will take over with 7:07 remaining in the 3rd period, leading 33-0. What you'd like to see now, the Seminoles to put together a nice time-consuming drive to cover the 78 yards, 79 yards to pay dirt and take up most of the rest of the quarter. And we get a twins formation to the right with Weddle and Leisure. And Robinson. And he'll have running room left side, 35-yard line, 37-yard line. Robinson, gain of some 16 yards on the play. So up to the big carry by Shoemaker to start the 3rd period. Now Dustin trying to get in act and get a few carries in. We mentioned here at halftime a couple games this year where Dustin has had nice yardage, 100 yards first half, and has not had the opportunity to carry the ball in the second half because of the scores. So again, I know Coach would like to get some carries too, Dustin and Luke, and some of his other backs here during the 3rd period. And this will be Robinson again on the sweep to the right side. He'll slide across the 45 to the 47, and a late flag comes in. And it looked like a face mask signaled by the official on the spot. So a first down carry by Robinson of some 11 yards, and we'll tack on 15 for the personal foul. And all of a sudden, the Seminoles will be inside the 40-yard line and threatening once again.
Another nice job by Dustin as he showed great agility coming through the line with a big pickup and a big play. Add the penalty on. We're going to be down to the 38-yard line.
We've not had a lot of penalties thus far this evening. Harrison will be wide to the right. Kramer with him. And the dive to Robinson. Only a couple of yards down near the 35-yard line. Second down and 7. Arden now at the
Nathan
split
Arden
end.
on this side, yes.
He'll be wide to the right. They'll pitch left to Robinson. Behind, I believe it was Hannes out there. He'll be inside the 30 and very close to, and he should have another first down on the quick toss. Here, Robinson behind his lead blocker, Sam Hannes. And it is another first down as the officials very quickly, signaling first down and moving the chains and getting the clock back going here. Look down here, I believe these are OVAC officials. St. Mary's now a member of the OVAC. So first down, Seminoles with a slot formation left. And Robinson again will be hitting the backfield, and we'll have a flag down.
Flag.
And now stop the clock at 4:42 remaining in the third period, and we'll wait a signal. And a chop block, or a block below the waist against the Seminoles. And that'll be a 15-yard penalty. And bring up first and some 25 yards to go. And the second penalty for the Seminoles tonight, third. We had a clipping call early. So now first and 25 for the Seminoles. Slot formation. Robinson. He'll be back inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Near 5 yards on that pickup. See Coach using Harrelson and Arden to run plays here on at least most of this possession. So he tries to get both of those seniors in, and a little bit of time here as Leisure is now out of the game. Crest back to throw. Across the middle, complete. And this is Kramer, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Eric Kramer. 38 yards. Nothing fancy about that. Eric Kramer from the slot position, just straight down the middle on a little, I don't know what you call it, a dump pattern is what they call that, where the guy just runs a seam right down the middle of the field. Nobody picked him up. Crest, saw him, and Eric was able to step away from a couple people, and that's his second receiving touchdown, I believe, of the year. Play covering 38 yards. That'll get Joe over 100 yards passing for the game, and put the Seminoles on top 39-0. The snap is down, and no whistle. And now we better have a whistle as Crest is pulled down, as the snap was a little bit offline, and as Ludwig tried to reach back and get the ball.
He fell down.
Lost his balance, and
just kind of left the ball lay there on the ground, and no whistle.
So the extra point is no good, but with 3 minutes, 46 seconds remaining, and the third period, Monroe Central 39 and St. Mary's nothing. It was kind of an odd-looking play. I think everybody thought the whistle was blowing there, but nobody did. And Joe picked the ball up, and he would have been able to run, for the points if he'd been able to step away. But the St. Mary's defense had him pretty well covered there, and then you wanted that whistle to blow before somebody threw him down to the ground. So coming out after halftime, putting 2 touchdowns on the board in 2 possessions. And you're pretty much where you would like to be now at 39-0. As Joe Kress will now kick off. And quite a bit of practice back here by the deep backs, Wilson and Smith and Durf, the deep for St. Mary's. Kress will kick. And this will hit and roll and be picked up by an up back who will fall to the ground at the 30-yard line as he covered that loose ball. Number 30 is the man, Josh Metz. As the ball bounced off his chest, and he went to the ground covering it up. So St. Mary's will take over at their own 30-yard line, already trailing 39-0. And trying to see who the quarterback is. And it looks like number 9, Smith,
yes,
will return to the game, as he is a very bruised young man, as he's taken a couple big hits back there from the Seminole pass rushers. He'll be in the shotgun once again, which would indicate pass. And again, some tremendous pressure.
And again, a big hit.
Jamie Boer forced the quarterback to step up, and then Kramer and on the sack. And I'm not sure, but I don't think anybody's blocking our defensive ends at any time on pass rushing, as Boer and Kramer have both been in numerous times tonight. That time Boer was there first, and as Smith stepped away from Boer, Kramer was there to make the play. A loss of 7 yards, about 7 yards on the play back to the 23-yard line. This time Smith will go up under center. The shotgun has not worked as well as they would hope. And there's some motion there. We're going to get a late flag on the play. The ball carrier.
Real late flag. I don't understand what they waited on.
Ball carrier was buried for a loss of another yard on the play. The penalty will be a motion penalty against St. Mary's.
Ball carrier.
It looked like some of the line left in segments. A couple of people went, and then
the right side of the line, yeah.
The problem was the ball had not been snapped yet, but the center. So the penalty, and did not see a signal yet, but it is refused after a loss on the play of another yard, bringing them up third and near 18. 2.5 minutes remaining in the third period. We get the receivers, 3 receivers this side. Smith, the drop, has a screen to Wilson, and he'll step away from a couple people and go back into the middle, and there's lots of people there. Among those, Trigg was the first person that made the ball carrier Wilson step back to the inside, and then Kramer and others making the play, and for at least the third time tonight, a completed pass for St. Mary's has went for negative yardage.
I don't think that's exactly their game plan.
And we'll get a JV defensive unit on the field now, a JV punt return unit. And the kick is high and short, and it's going to hit and roll dead near the 46-yard line. As the JV unit, came in for that punt return after the fine return of Josh Jones last week, giving those young men an opportunity to return a punt if the ball had been returnable. And now the JVs will take over with 1:36 on the clock in the third period.
39-0.
Plays in. And
you could hear the crowd react as the JV unit came in on that punt return.
So some nice work by the first unit there early. Ludwig, the quarterback, gives to Jones.
And he's met immediately right at the line. Very little gain, if any, possibly a yard.
Joe mentioned earlier the laundry, that some of these parents, would have to do that. Maybe some of the young men on the field now, maybe their moms were hoping that they didn't have laundry to do on that. No, I'm sure most. We shouldn't say just moms, dads also. but, you know, a chance to see these young men play again, and they'll gladly wash up some uniforms. Really, these young men should wash their own uniforms. Ludwig on the handoff. And I didn't see for sure the ball carrier. May have been Jones once again, Josh Jones. 49, Ben Miller was the ball carrier. So Ludwig again under center on this 3rd and 5. He's going to pitch the ball. And very little gain there by Ludwig, as the first unit will return on 4th down to punt the ball away. And this will be the first time in the last 2 weeks that the Seminoles have been forced to punt the ball. But that punt will come up in period number 4 as we have reached the end of the 3rd period. 39-0 Seminoles.
John and Steve of Weber's Pharmacy were born and raised in our area and care about you and your family. Over the years, they've served our community with after-hours emergency service, quality products, and competitive prices, friendly staff, and that special hometown touch. With that same spirit of hometown pride, John and Steve wish the Monroe Central Seminole teams and coaching staff good luck for a safe and successful season. Remember Weber's Pharmacy for all your healthcare needs. You're not just a number at Weber's Pharmacy, you're part of the family.
For almost any size job, the area's most extensive fastener display is at Ager Hardware. Small engine belts in all sizes, too. And it's that time of the year for Oregon chains and bars and, of course, hunting licenses, shells, and accessories. Home improvements are easy with the large inventory of electrical and plumbing supplies and standard bathroom fixtures. A full line of kitchen and laundry appliances are always in stock. Custom paints for interior and exterior fall fix-ups. Special services, screen repair, and glass cutting. Car wax and car care products, bikes of all kinds, and just arrived vent-free and kerosene heaters. Eggers, much more than a hardware store.
Punt is away, a little bit of pressure. That is Leisure punting. The ball will go out of bounds on the far side. Mark it at the 28-yard line. So the first punt by the Seminoles, as I mentioned prior to the break, in the last 2 weeks, is by Leisure, and goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line of St. Mary's. The Devils appear to have most of their first unit still on the field, so we'll get mostly a first unit defense by the Seminoles back in the ball game. See a couple new individuals in there. Number 64, John Shoemaker, and I think number 21, Josh Jones, also in the game. Smith in the shotgun once again. He's going deep and intended for Taylor. The ball is out of bounds. Or no, excuse me, that's number 89, J.T. Woodruff. Ludwig on the coverage.
Woodruff also with good size, 6'1".
Year in, year out, St. Mary's, has very good athletic teams. It's a down year for football off a great year last year, which they reached the state semifinals. But their basketball program also, most years has been very good. And if these young men play basketball, it'd be a very good size, it would appear. And I know the young man Taylor we've mentioned also as an exceptionally good baseball pitcher. So, these
Smith
kids play a lot.
throw.
And he's going deep once again. There's some contact over there. Intended for Taylor. Robinson on coverage. And complete. Now once again, the ball thrown up very high. And I'm not sure if the ball was even on the field of play. So 3rd and 10. As we have just started period number 4. And Smith once again, as he gets back under center, as the shotgun formation really did not work well for them the times they tried that earlier. And they'll run a draw, and nothing going by Wilson. A lot of people then on the tackle. And A punt situation coming up once again by St. Mary's on 4th and 8. Jones and Bruce Ledwig are deep. Taylor once again to kick. He's had a lot of practice tonight. This is still a very short kick. Jones going to come up and take it on the run. He'll be at the 40, and that's about it. They'll give him to the 42. And it appears we get some new individuals in over on the St. Mary's side also now. I want to mention again the JV game upcoming on Monday. Will be a home game against St. Mary's. That'll be the final reserve game of the year.
After this play, we'll have an announcement here, Coach. It seems like our nice hole up the middle, short gain. I believe that's
Josh Jones again on the carry. Okay, take it away, your announcement.
Our stats will be just a little bit off because somebody was talking to the statistician. It's not Roger's fault. Yeah, we sent somebody after coffee, and they ended up talking to our stat man, so go get coffee, Joe.
The rain has stopped, so we won't have to worry about getting wet. Jones picked up 3 yards on the play to the 45. Josh Jones once again will get the ball. He'll be hitting the backfield and fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now bring up 3rd and about 7. I should give some credit tonight maybe to the young man running the football out and then here when the Seminoles have the ball. And from here, that looks like Jason Davidson, one of the Seminole managers, and has the responsibility tonight of trying to keep that ball as dry as possible.
Dry football out there.
So once again, Ledwig brings the unit to the line. He'll look to throw. Has no receiver out. And forced to run. He'll be out of bounds over on the St. Mary's sideline. I believe he wanted to try to unload the ball to number 11, Bruce Ledwig, but Bruce had a little trouble getting off the line of scrimmage and getting out. So Ledwig that's Jason Ledwig forced to run it, and he'll pick up a couple of yards to the 47. But that's well short of the 4th and about 4.
So they're going to punt again here with 9:11 remaining in the contest.
And that is Leisure back once again in punt formation. The snap is good. The kick is up, and again over to the right side will hit and be taken on one hop over there by number 21. He's hit very hard.
By his own man, number 30, as they ran into each other.
So 9:01 remaining. St. Mary's once again have the football, this time at their own 25-yard line, it appears. The clock will now start.
You can see some of the soup there in the middle of the defensive unit in the middle of the field, although it's not as bad as you might expect. I think the rain has quit.
The field really has done a fine job holding up under the conditions. See number 85, Arden, in at the defensive end. They'll run the ball to the left side. Number 30, Metz is the ball carrier.
Kramer again with one of the tacklers. Looked like Sam Scott also on the stop.
See Jamie Sampson also going into the game. He'll replace Trigg. Among the first liners that are out, I see Yoho and Burr are already on the sideline. There's a nice run by Wilson. He'll be hit low and brought down by Kress, but the yardage will be good for a first down. So first down St. Mary's, the ball at the 45-yard line. See Weddle and Jones at the linebackers. There's movement, on the right side by the big tight end, Taylor. Not the kind of mistakes you would look for out of a young man with the reputation, the fine player that Taylor has. He's been in motion a couple of times this evening.
Of course, you don't know, just getting back into the program after being off with the injury early in the season, I'm sure his timing has to be off some.
That is correct.
I'm not too sure he played last week.
He's played he's played 2 weeks that I know of and had a total of 11 catches, and I really do not know if he has a reception.
I don't think he has tonight.
He has 1 reception for negative
yardage.
yardage.
How many first downs is that for St. Mary's? That was the third.
We have another flag as the ball carrier is number 30, once again Metz. He'll be dropped by Weddle. And an illegal procedure call against St. Mary's. See, looks like Shoemaker also is out of the game now, standing down here on the sideline.
Maybe, Coach, if we do something good again, we can get another spaz attack. If you saw the show last night.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that come up last week on the show, because I mentioned that to Chad earlier in the week at school about seeing him go kind of crazy down the sidelines there. Little did I know that had been captured on film.
Yeah, well, Coach wanted that one. I think that makes it 13-2 in favor of Coach.
It's going to be tough for Spaz to come back.
I don't think Spaz can come back from this one.
Wilson, the ball carrier, he's going to be hit and brought down in the backfield. I think Sam Scott, possibly. As I try to get a look through all that mud, I believe Sam Scott, had first contact on the play and then had help from the others that you mentioned.
We're right there in the middle of that soup. That's a nice place to have the ball.
But again, another loss, and there's been numerous plays that went for negative yardage tonight for St. Mary's. This may be one of the finer performances from start to finish by the Seminoles defensively this year. And Smith the throw. He's going downfield for his big tight end Taylor, and he makes the catch for a first down. He's brought down by Kress. And that's the kind of play that I think we expected to see more of out of Taylor from his tight end position. That was a nice grab, using his 6'5" frame to make that play.
Just short of first down.
It is just short of the first down, as there was long yardage to go. That's going to bring up third and about a yard. Two receivers wide left for St. Mary's. And a sneak by Smith.
And he dropped straight down. I don't think he's got it, Coach.
From behind, number 34, Will Weddle. And he snuck in through a crack from behind and grabbed a hold of the quarterback as he was trying to go forward and kind of pulled him back. And it'll be interesting to see where they place the ball, but I don't think he has it. Fourth down.
And, of course, they'll have to go for this. 39-0, 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the contest.
Fourth down and about a yard and a half for St. Mary's. Seminole crowd urging on the defense. They'd like to see another shutout. And again, tough exchange. The ball is fumbled, and I think the ball is recovered by the Seminoles.
It is.
I'm not sure. Again, it may
have been Sam Scott.
Or possibly Josh Jones made the recovery. Really hard to tell from here. A lot of people down there, a lot of muddy shirts.
But nonetheless, defense stands again.
But it was short of the first down regardless. So the Seminole defense will take over. Sam Scott, the consensus as we take a poll up here is that Sam Scott has the fumble recovery. So last week there was one fumble that we couldn't tell for sure who had it. We had a difference of opinion. Joe Crest claims that he made the recovery last week. So I told Joe he needs to step away from people and hold the ball up and face the press box. Number 46, the ball carrier.
He'll pick up a couple hard yards off the right side.
Well, we've got a chance in between plays here. I'll mention a couple things as we get down to about 4 minutes remaining. Next week, back home, Frontier. I'm sure they'll beat Waterford very soundly on Friday evening, and they'll come in at 7-1, and what basically is a playoff game.
Yes.
Because the winner will stay alive for a playoff berth, and the loser will basically have very slim chances of making it. So really, the playoffs start next week for the Seminoles.
And that's always a big contest. Frontier, Josh Jones.
Jones is the ball carrier.
Frontier always has some good athletes, and they always come ready to play. And
they gave us a real battle last year down there. Some hard-hitting game. They have a super quarterback named Oliver.
They're impressive. They're a very impressive unit.
Now coming into our place, I'm sure in the back of their minds, they know that they never defeated Woodsfield in 20-some-odd years of playing, and of course, losing to Monroe Central last year, they're coming to a place that Frontier High School has never won a football game.
Yes.
And hopefully that will be a factor, a little intimidation there. But they have a fine football team, and expect a huge crowd. So come on out, and Woodby is the ball carrier. Come on out and make a lot of noise. That's going to create that playoff atmosphere next week.
But the next 2 weeks, people will better come out early.
Yes.
Those are two big games. There's a lot of bank up on the hill there. Very nice place to watch a football game. And 2 nice weeks of football left.
And hopefully the weather will be a little more cooperative than it has been this evening, so that we can get a nice crowd. But we have 2:35 remaining now, as we'll get another punt by Leisure, his third punt of the fourth quarter, as the offense has kind of slowed down here during the latter stages of the game. And no pressure as Leisure gets it off. It's a line drive kick which will hit and roll back to the 20, and Wilson will let it go, and it'll be downed by Kress at the 16-yard line with 2:14 remaining in the game. And we'll see a lot of new white jerseys going in. See number 68, Tucker Roberts going in. Number 80, Manoa Geese, the starting tight end, will go in and play some defensive end. Arden at one defensive end. We see Jamie Sampson at one secondary position. We see number 70, Tom Jones, going in at a line position. So a lot of white jerseys getting an opportunity to get in here, and probably a few more over the next couple of plays. As coach tries to get some new people in, and we'll get a whistle just prior to the snap. As the rain starts to fall very hard. Smith is still the quarterback. He seems to be recovered from the shot that Kramer put on him earlier.
Yeah, St. Mary's hasn't done very much substituting. They still have pretty much their first unit in the ball.
They have several young men over on the sideline. They have a very big roster.
A minute 50 that they do a little subbing, but
so there was an encouragement penalty against Monroe Central, 1st and 5. Wilson will get the carry to the left side, trying to get outside, and he'll be knocked out of bounds over there by
looks like
Sampson and Geese. So that should be good for the first down at the 27-yard line. And the rain's starting to fall very hard, but for the most part, the weather has given us a break, and we've had, not a lot of rain during the course of the game. The field very muddy, but as I've mentioned before, has held up very good. So as we move to a minute and a half remaining, 1st and 10, St. Mary's. They'll give to Wilson once again. He'll be hit in the middle and brought down right in the muddy spot of the field by Roberts.
A whole slew of white jerseys.
Geese. And also a couple that aren't white, like number 34, Will Weddle.
Well, Coach, the next 2 weeks are just tremendous high school football as you think about Frontier coming to town and all the implications of that, and then the next week with Bellsville. And, of course, that's the TV9 game of the week.
Be the media haven of the world.
Media haven, that's right.
Week.
Good pressure.
Brought down in the backfield.
First contact, I couldn't see. '64,
John Shoemaker. Also number 70, Tom Jones, was there. As we have 20 seconds remaining, and St. Mary's see if they try to get one more play off. This will be a 39-0 Monroe Central victory, as they will appear that they will get one play off. And there will be a pass downfield and incomplete.
Incomplete.
Intended for Taylor, really close to no one, but that'll be the ball game. The Seminoles move to 8-0 with a 39-0 victory here at St. Mary's.
And impressive both sides of the ball, Coach.
And as far as the computer ratings go, this one not worth a lot of points, and a lot of our defeated opponents were very heavy underdogs going into tonight. So there's a good chance that the Seminoles could be anywhere from maintaining their third place rating to dropping possibly as low as 8th or 9th this week. But don't go into panic if you don't see us listed next week in the paper, because the next 2 weeks with a win, we'll jump right back into the hunt. But this team cannot afford to stumble. Last year we were able to afford one stumble, but this year, Region 19 has become very difficult with the likes of Wellsville and Crooksville and Lisbon and Steubenville Central in there, so we cannot afford to stumble.
Yeah, as Coach says, we're kind of in control of our own destiny, and it's just a matter of doing what we can do and take each opponent one game at a time and let the chips fall. So
for all practical purposes, the playoffs start next week, so get on out there, create that playoff atmosphere, make a lot of noise, a lot of people out there, and cheer this ball club on to another victory. That'll do it from here in St. Mary's, a very rainy Friday evening. For Brian Easterling, Dale Eddy, Joe Palmer Eddy, statistician Roger Stevens, this is Jeff Stevens saying the final score once again, Monroe Central 39, St. Mary's 0. We'll see you next week.